gentlemen, turn your speakers up. It's time for the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE. Oh yeah! Let's meet the hosts. First, a man hailing from the hub city in Indiana. He goes by @TooSweetKyle on Twitter. The host, Kyle Gagliardi. And your co-host, hailing from the Valley of Lake Tahoe. He goes by @JimTuck89 on Twitter. Jim Tucker. And last but not least, hailing from the cornfield somewhere in Indiana, the full-time part-timer, Ian Garavaglia. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram @PodOnTheMark.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi. And joining me is one of my co-hosts, my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on, Kyle? Good to be back and talk some professional wrestling, not only with you, Kyle, but also with the full-time part-timer Ian Garavaglia. Ian, sup, dog?
What's up, dog? Yeah, show number 2 for the week for those that were here for the first time listening this Tuesday, where we recapped AEW All In. And we're back because we have a lot more wrestling to talk about, Gags.
A lot of shit going on in professional wrestling. A lot of shit just going on in life for everybody involved with this podcast. But we love talking professional wrestling, so that's why we get together every single week. And like Tuck's always talked about, since he's all the way across the country, we don't get to see him face-to-face anymore. It's nice to interact and talk with you guys in the chat as well. But Tucky, before the show, we talked a little bit about what was going on this week and a little bit about our plans. And I think you got the house with just the boys this weekend. Will Augie be watching Bash in Berlin and NXT No Mercy?
He'll definitely be in the house while it's being played, watching. I mean, he's into it when he's got the frog chair he sits in. He's into it that way. That's kind of our plans for the weekend. Mista is heading to Charleston, South Carolina. So dad duty all weekend. This is her first time away from her child. Like, or even
it's gonna be
one
tough.
night.
Yeah. She's going to be texting you every hour for updates, maybe even more frequently.
That would be nice. She never texts me, so.
So she'll call you. Fair enough. Yeah. Ian, what you got going on this weekend? You're not watching wrestling, I don't think, right?
No, I will not be watching live. I'll be having to catch up next week during the weekday.
Boo this guy.
I'm going down to Indianapolis. My birthday is Sunday, so going down there to hang out. Yeah, I did too until last week, actually. So
happy early birthday to
Thank
Ian.
you.
Everybody
Thank
spam happy birthday to Ian in the chat. I think you're turning 23, correct? You're Jordan.
23, I think so. I would have been a part of OTM since I was 19, 20. So
yeah, it hasn't been that long.
Watching me grow up a little bit here, so we're moving past.
You're only turning 23?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It makes me feel older because I'm turning 32 next year, but we don't need to talk about that.
I feel like it's been a while. Like 20. Where's
it has
24, 25? I didn't think that's 23. Still feels very young. Shit.
I mean, did you know me when I was 15, right, in high school? I had to have been.
Yeah, freshman year into sophomore year. Yeah.
Yeah. So
no, sophomore winter, going into the season. Yeah. So.
Yeah. You guys have known each other for a long ass time, probably longer than I've known Tuck. That's probably, is that around the same timeline?
Didn't
Probably
you come to the
time.
Cal games?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
I
that,
think I met you in 2016 for GBL, right?
Yeah, we've known each other. Yeah, because Ian was on that. Ian was on that team that you came to see, so we obviously knew each other before then.
Yeah, get fucked. I will acknowledge
fuck you, Ian.
Fellow champion in the house, Ryan Vogus. We just won a championship last night with the Griffith Gregs. It was our first championship in Leroy, so I will definitely thank you. Definitely acknowledge Ryan Bogus in the chat. And of course, the Great Brown Hope is here as well. He said, "We out you." That's his signature tagline. Right?
Topless the Arta pics on Facebook.
What'd you think?
Guy's got abs now. People are not talking about it. He's been working out.
I mean, they're hiding behind a little bit of ice cream.
Nope, it's there. It's there.
They're there. Yeah.
I think you look great. I think you've been working.
Thanks,
you
man,
could tell. You could tell you're moving your ass. Yeah, you can tell you're doing something.
It led to a championship, and there's going to be a lot of championships defended this weekend since we have 2 PLEs, and since we have those 2 PLEs happening, I try sometimes. You can go to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast this weekend, and you will save 10% if you use promo code BASH. We have a lot of great merch out there. Tuck, why don't you tell them a little bit about what we have to offer?
T-shirts, hoodies, crop tops, a couple different designs, a little bit of something for everyone. I got that Bryan Danielson appreciation shirt. You can appreciate your champion. You can appreciate your AEW World Champion. Oh my gosh! Tapestries, coffee mugs, different, couple new different designs, a little bit of everything, and a purchase there helps us. So it's great.
You know what else helps us, Tuck? There's going to be a little QR code that's going to flash right there. You'll get it eventually. If you want to get yourself the new LA Knight t-shirt or just any merch from the WWE shop, the next time you want to do that, scan that QR code right there. You will be helping out OTM because we are an affiliate with the WWE shop. Which one of you is humming?
Not me. Yeah.
I couldn't tell because you both were moving in the same direction. I'm like,
a little soft background music,
Kyle needs to sell autograph photos of him holding his trophy on the OTM website. Nobody will buy that.
Shirt on 10, shirt off 15.
There you go. Hey, Robbie's in the house. Said, yo, guys, good buzz for Bash this weekend. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a buzz, I guess. I was going to ask for your excitement, but Tuck, you didn't get the chance to talk about All In with us this Tuesday. I'm just curious on your overall thoughts as the pay-per-view as a whole.
I thought it was a good show. Some stinkers, but I thought the crowd was hot. You couldn't really tell a difference, even though there was a stark difference in attendance, numbers wise. And you could, when you looked up to the top decks, they were thinner, but again, there was people all over the place. Big house. I do like the improved stage. I'm a production guy. I like big and grand and loud and awesome. I thought the stage looked great. And then I thought the show itself was good. You're going to get good wrestling. The Mercedes Moné Britt Baker match was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But man, I love the Mariah May Toni Storm match. I love the title match. Just weird. They got 30 people on the 0 Hour show. You know what I mean? At least it's something. So I thought it was a good day, and I do think it's smart that they're going to run it somewhere else next year. But they're going back for Forbidden Door. That could be at the O2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fill out one of those stadiums, and I think London's a good market for them because they're paying attention to it. You know what I mean?
And they're trying out Australia next year, I do believe, for
February.
Yeah. So that could be something big too to tap into.
It's so cool that we now live in a world where there's 2 major U.S.-based wrestling companies that are traveling internationally and selling out large crowds. That's just great for wrestling as a whole. The more people that have jobs, the more people that have exposure, the more content we're going to make, the more money everybody's going to make. It's just a good time all around. But speaking of a good time, Robbie Collins is going to be doing some stuff for the Main Event Wrestling Network on TikTok. He said his Bash in Berlin predictions are coming out on the TikTok tomorrow. So make sure you're following us at @mainevent_net on all the socials. And don't forget, there is Main Event merch available on our website. So if you use that promo code BASH, you can rep the network as well. A lot of good things going on over there on this website. But one more comment before we get into things here. Actually, a couple more comments. Great Brown Hope said, guess that $5 million money signed came with a don't need to put on 5-star matches clause. This bro just stays hating.
He usually likes to find his target and not let go.
I don't super disagree.
Tuck, what do you think about this? I know you might be in for mimosas.
Yeah, 4 Loco mimosas though would be a wild move. I got to see how much babysitting grandma will do in that context. But yeah, definitely 10 a.m., 9:30, 10 a.m. start Saturday. Come on, dude. You know we're making breakfast. You know we're having a mimosa or 7. You know it. You know it. And it's just going to be a beautiful weekend because we got the NXT No Mercy show, and that's in the evening.
And that's during our fantasy draft that we're doing with the league.
And I have 2 fantasy drafts within an hour of each other. So my Sunday is I'm planning on a couch. I need boneless wings. I need Snack City is Sunday. We need to do Snack City Sunday. It's going to be a great weekend. Elite. I just hope I don't lose my mind.
Good luck to you, buddy. Just you and Augie. But let's say we get into our Bash in Berlin predictions. We're going to start off with some mixed tag action, which, by the way, Tuck, we don't have a form yet, but there will be one, correct?
By the end of this show, we will have a link for you for that form.
And our PLE champion is it you?
I mean, I'll take it, but it's Eric Robinson. SummerSlam.
Yeah,
Mr. Cincinnati.
Yeah, easily can forget about him. Which, by the way, I threw some shade at the Junkies earlier today. I'm going to put it publicly out there. You know, they're repping all this kind of merch. And I'm like, guys, I don't see any main event or OTM merch in your wardrobe. You know, I bought the Wrestling Junkies t-shirt, which I love, by the way, and you can get that and support them at Junkies Pod, but we need to show some love to the network here, too. Just saying, boys. But nonetheless, first match we're going to talk about, Bash in Berlin, the Terror Twins, which is Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, of course, taking on Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. Tuck, I'll go to you on this one. Interesting, because obviously no titles are involved here, but should be a fun match.
Well, here's the thing: like both teams winning makes sense because this is probably just the start, right? I don't see this as closing the book on the whole thing because I think there's still a lot of meat left on the bone. I want Terror Twins to win. I think Dom and Liv might, but I also think
who wins if they do win though? Out of Dom and Liv, who's getting the pinfall?
I'm having a much easier time saying that Terror Twins need to win to just make them dominant right out the gate and make them something special too. Right. I'm going Terror Twins. There we go. I do feel more confident in that because I don't think it's the end.
This is the one match on the card where I am 50-50. Everything else I feel pretty confident with, but I think you can make a strong case because, like you said, both these teams are pretty prominent right now on television. And both could use some wins because think about SummerSlam. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley both lost their matches for titles at SummerSlam. So they desperately need a bounce-back win here, Ian. But I'm going to go to Kine here before we get your prediction. He said this feud's been cooking. I want Dom and Liv to win. I think they will get the win with the help from Finn and JD. Obviously, Ian, that's a factor you got to consider in this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be interference. It just depends on, obviously the Terror Twins right now, they have no backup unless there's somebody in the background that is looking to help them. But the only person I could see is maybe a Jey Uso, just because of the Rhea Ripley connection. But yeah, I think it's too early for that still. I think it's still too early for that to him to be invited into the scenario right now. I think it's just got Dom and Liv written all over it just to win it, solidify them as like they're not just like an undercard, like scrappy win by interference kind of people. So also, and the Terror Twins are always going to be that dominant force just by their aesthetics. I mean, just to put it bluntly, they're the bigger team, the more athletic team, more physical team. But I'm going to go Dom and Liv winning by interference. Dom pins.
Ooh, that would be juicy. I mean, I do think interference is going to happen. I think the long game here is Finn versus Damian Priest. I don't know if they're going to be able to stretch that out into WrestleMania. So that really confuses me even more on who's going to win this one. But knowing that there is more numbers on the Judgment Day side of things, they are the new Judgment Day. They need to be presented strong. I think they need to get this win here over the Terror Twins. Ian, you kind of alluded to it. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest are already huge megastars in the company. Damian Priest was made in his last world title run. Him losing here via shenanigans, granted Dom Mysterio getting a win over him would be huge for Dom. I don't think it hurts Priest. I don't think it hurts Rhea whatsoever if they were to lose this match. So I'm going to go with Dom and Liv. Once again, zero confidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm curious what the chat thinks too.
I think it'll be fun. Start the card off with it.
What do you guys think about these shorter cards, like the 5 to 6 match thing? Because a lot of people are starting to get tired of them, but I think it makes sense for an international B-level PLE.
I'll go first. I think the shorter match cards in between some of these bigger shows are kind of necessary because that allows if Cody Rhodes has to be on every show, if every champ is on every show, you're telling these story arcs in 4-week bits sometimes, and I think the 5-match card allows you to keep some stories longer,
Right.
and I also think if you're doing a long card more frequently in bigger markets, I don't know that you slam the arenas the way they are, right? We're gonna
Right.
go to a smaller arena, we're gonna sell the fucking building out, continue the sellout streak or whatever, and we'll get out of there. And it's a safe way to test the market, in my opinion, because they're doing a lot more internationally, and so they're building. I think they're booking buildings they know they can pack. Five good matches that you can give plenty of time to, and let's go.
Yeah, I mean, in the same way you said the feuds kind of get extended. I mean, this was the pay-per-view style that they did with Roman Reigns' title reign. And, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it didn't feel like the 4 years had passed by. It felt like a long time, but the guy didn't have that many matches, and the title reign just kept counting the days. Yeah, which that's really good with these long time kind of feuds, and you have people that could sit the bench for these PLEs, take some time off, stick to the weekly shows, let the story produce out there. So yeah, I agree with it, and I'm sure the wrestlers are all right with it too because they get some days off while the other guys do their thing. And everybody's the best part about it is there is no one wrestler. They talked about a Busted Open today. I haven't had a Busted Open reference in a while.
Have not, so good for you.
So, I mean, LaGreca brought up back in the day, I mean, it was a Hulk Hogan. He ran the company. If he was injured or out, that company might be screwed for a little while. Now, you could have people go out. I mean, like when CM Punk went out, you have other guys that are just as over, or if not more over than a CM Punk to cover for him and sell the house still. So, you could have people sit the bench. You don't have to rely on them every single PLE and have these shorter form PLEs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And I also believe, and this could be just speculation, but from what I see online is I think wrestlers actually enjoy the house shows. And when they go on these international tours, the people that aren't on the main card are getting to work those hot crowds, those, intimate house shows that aren't televised. That's a different energy for these wrestlers, and it kind of gives you incentive to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go perform live there. Who cares? That gives me a little bit of a break. I'm not on TV, but I'm still wrestling.
Travel the world, too.
Yeah. I think it's an overall win to have this short of a card. Not all of us want 14 matches, 4 hours, and, there's always other wrestling that you could be watching, too, but that's...
Well, how many shows are happening on Friday alone? TNA... SmackDown,
probably indies galore. GCW's in Chicago this weekend.
Does New Japan have a show too? Capital Collision, TNA, SmackDown. Yeah. There's a lot of wrestling this weekend.
A lot of good stuff going on. Kind said it's having interference, and then you could build Finn versus Priest and Liv versus Rhea for Bad Blood. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when Bad Blood is, but I think it might be in a couple weeks if I'm not mistaken.
October 5th, I want to say. I'm on it.
Oh, okay.
I think it's an October PLE.
A month,
October
5th,
Saturday.
The Bad Blood's good. I like that. And he also said, I think this works especially for the storyline, JD versus Terra Twins in the sense like it's not directly Finn versus Damian. Yeah, I agree, Kind.
I was going to ask, so October no longer has a Hell in the Cell, correct? Like Hell in the Cell is out? Okay. It's just a match now. Cool.
It's going to it has to be Drew versus CM Punk in Hell in the Cell.
Correct, yes.
Well, let's just talk about that match then. Might as well just get into it here. We got a strap match here between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Obviously, we know Drew McIntyre got the first win in the last matchup they had at SummerSlam. Now here we go. Match number 2. Strap match. Drew McIntyre is 0-1. Never won a strap match. I believe CM Punk has won a few. Ian, I think CM Punk is really good in these kind of matches, these old school stipulations. We saw it in AEW. Now we're getting it here with Drew McIntyre. I'm setting the table for you.
You just stole my food off the table.
I'm sorry.
If you had any takes, we'll see, babe.
Boys got to eat. But, yeah, how you feeling about the build going into this one and who's walking away with the win?
He kind of teabagged you like with it too. Ian, here's all the things
that you were going to say.
I didn't know you were going to say it. We don't make a show out.
No, it was really funny because I was just thinking, I'm like, what am I going to say here? Oh, yeah, I'll say that. You said it. I'm like, okay, here we go. But yeah, I think really what capitalized it was this week. They had a really nice go-home show just for this feud. It was unbridled rage that you could see from CM Punk, which he displays very well because I'm sure there's some actual rage within him that comes out on TV and behind the scenes. But anyway, so this build-up really is reminded me of the CM Punk versus MJF kind of dog collar situation. And as we know, and as you said, CM Punk is very good at portraying those emotions in these types of matches. It's going to be very heavy-hitting, and I would not be shocked to see any blood during this match, which would be a nice little touch. I think this is one of those times where if we saw blood, it would actually add to it.
Yeah.
I have CM Punk coming out on top of this, mainly because you got to go back and forth just a little bit. I'm not sure if I see a Drew McIntyre winning this. He's kind of the slimy villain at the moment, even though he's an absolute brute. But I'm going to go CM Punk winning this one.
Yeah, and Great Brown Hope, and I'm assuming this means he thinks this feud is going to be over with here. This strap match is happening to give Drew another win without pinning CM Punk. I do understand that logic, but I disagree with the winner. Ian, I am 100% with you. I think we've mentioned it numerous times on this show. It's setting up for Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell, main event that PLE. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, the rubber match. The only way we get there is CM Punk gets a revenge win here against Drew McIntyre. Strap match, going to be entertaining. It's not for everybody because it's not a fast-paced style of match. You have to touch four corners. It is what it is. Just enjoy the story that they're going to be telling here, Tuck. Who do you got walking away with the win here?
I have CM Punk winning it. I think this becomes a trill. I'm with the Bad Blood train here. So nothing much else.
Ian, you want to read this real quick? I got a work text I got to respond to.
Kind said, I'm just a little disappointed that you've got to touch all four corners. However, it means when Punk wins, Drew can say he has never been pinned, so it leads into match 3 at Bad Blood. Yeah, it's a great point. But yeah, this is one of those old school kind of stipulations, I believe. This was one of the oldest ones with touching all four corners. I'm pretty sure it used to be like buttons in the corner and like an LED would flash in the corner, correct? Because you had to touch it simultaneously.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure
that'd be cool if like a video game. Stop, no whammies.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was because I remember watching a Big Show match against somebody. I'm gonna have to look that up because I'm pretty sure it might be that Mandela effect going on here.
Yeah, it might be. You never know. Great Brown Hope says Punk and Drew are gonna do this forever. Best of 7 for the bracelet. 7th match ends in a draw because of Rollins. Sure, why not?
I don't keep Rollins out. Keep him out. Sell the tsunami thing.
What do we think about this? Bring back Cyber Sunday. It's where they voted on matches.
No, I don't think
that now.
I don't know if they could do it. They have such good
social
storylines. They just have such good storylines going on. I don't know if we want the fans to ruin it right now.
Yeah, there's certain fans I see online that shouldn't be having the opinions they have, and if they are voting, we would be in trouble. But nonetheless, we're going to move on to the next matchup here for the Women's Tag Team Championships. The Unholy Union, which is Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, taking on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I get to go first for this one, and I'm thinking Jade and Bianca are going to be getting those Women's Tag Team titles back. And the reason I think that is that eventually we do have to get the split of these two, because I know we are going to be getting Bianca versus Jade one-on-one. You really can't have dissension here this early if you're trying to make a match at WrestleMania, because then that's a lot of building you got to get to. So I think putting the titles on them, having another reign, holding it for a couple months, teasing the dissension between the two, and then ultimately dropping it close to the Royal Rumble is the perfect timeline here. It's unfortunate for the Unholy Union, Tuck, because, you know, they really haven't got a fair shake at those belts, but at the end of the day, it's Bianca and it's Jade Cargill. Two superstars.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's got to be Bianca and Jade here. In the same idea, I think it was okay for Bryan Danielson to go over Swerve in AEW. That they they can. They already have a title reign, and they have a lot of legs left as a tag team. When I think Bianca and Jade are going to be better split. And so a good way to get Jade in there. Bianca and Jade have a couple title reigns, and the Unholy Union can still do its thing in a few months down the line.
Ian, what are we thinking?
Yeah, we had our feel good moment for the Unholy Union winning the tag titles, which was nice. It was a really good moment. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. And like you said, with the whole dissension thing, I think it's way too early, because once you start getting that ball rolling, it is going to go very quickly down the drain, and people are going to get really tired of watching them have their dissension over the next, what it'd be about 6 months or so. So probably put the titles back on Bianca and Jade. Let her have some more time to develop, have some backup in Bianca, because I don't know if Jade is ready right now for that solo push.
Better.
She's getting better, yeah. It's just the promo that I'm worried about. But otherwise, I think she's got the in-ring solid. I wouldn't say it's good. It's solid.
Promo? She doesn't need a promo because she's that bitch. Remember when she used to say that?
Oh, gosh, yeah. That bitch show.
That was kind of creative. I enjoyed it.
I just want to say there were LED lights in the corners.
Oh.
It was a red light and a green light. And the match that I remember was Mark Henry versus Sheamus. They had like a...
Wow.
It was red, and then they would touch it, and then it would turn green. They have to go around in circles. So they might have that this weekend.
I thought you were talking about Squid Games with red light, green light. I got
red
scared
light
there for a little bit. Green light. Good show, by the way.
Very.
Couple comments here. Gray Brown Hope says, too many teams brawling over the belts. Pure Fusion Collective, say that 5 times fast. And Damage Control, Interfere, Fatal 4-Way, Tag Team Turmoil at Bad Blood. I wouldn't hate that. Yeah.
That keeps the belts. Yeah, I don't hate it.
It's something, yeah.
There's no title change needed. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, it's just Jade and Bianca. That's the only really reasoning behind it. Kine says, I think Bianca and Jade win. The split will come, but just not now. Here's their time to reclaim the belts. 100%. I agree with you, Kine. And Great Brown Hope says, Alba Fire is the longest reigning UK women's champion. Elite class of women have come from that lineage. Put some respect on Alba Fire's name. Hey, we're not dissing them. We're not hating, right? Nobody here hates them.
I didn't know much about Alba Fire before, so thank you.
She's on fire.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clean sweep, though, for us. We're going with Bianca and Jade to get those women's tag team titles. Tuck, you get to start us off for this one. Obviously, we know who is going to win, so let me ask this question to you instead. Will Kevin Owens turn heel at Bash in Berlin?
No.
Interesting. Okay, so how do you see this one playing out?
I have no idea. I just think Cody's going to win.
I don't.
Is
I
don't know
feud enough for you? Like, do you feel like this is doing justice to Cody Rhodes' reign?
No, there's something. It's good. It's a placeholder, like defense, for something bigger. I just don't know what's going to be bigger if Roman and Solo are just going to be beefing forever. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's next. Cody wins, and I'm going to say Kevin Owens does not turn. Bad Blood would be a great place to turn. Bad Blood, heel, KO, turn. Bad Blood, the baddest of blood.
Spoiler alert, that's a part of my prediction.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think this will be clean. I think right now it'll be clean. Cody Rhodes goes over, obviously keeps the title. But you got to start thinking about after. Who would Cody go after next? Would it be like throw another hat in the ring and have another little feud and just retain the title? Well, hold on here. So let's go into next SmackDown.
We tried to answer a question you asked.
Yeah, that's fair. It was rhetorical.
Go ahead.
Next SmackDown, we have a little celebration in the ring. Cody's just talking to his normal promo where Kevin Owens might be by his side like a lapdog that he usually is when it's like a Cody friend situation, just kind of in the ring or around the ring. Yeah, go Cody. And then just hits him with a ringside powerbomb, heel turn Kevin Owens. The amount of storytelling these two could do from their time on the independents together, I am all here for it because Kevin Owens, we know, is a fantastic heel and is a great storyteller. Why not give this like a little series, start something long here, a major feud, give Kevin Owens that time to break out again as a heel, Cody Rhodes could also be the underdog because I would say he's kind of undersized against Kevin. It's kind of like a
equal.
Yeah. So why not? Let's spice this up, give it a longer term storytelling with this, and have a few matches out of it.
I like what you're saying, Ian, especially with the fact that Kevin Owens is a good storyteller, and I agree with the both of you. I don't think Kevin's turning this weekend. I do believe he is going to contemplate hitting that pop-up powerbomb on the apron to Cody Rhodes, and that's the reason he's going to lose the match. He's about to do it to Cody, and he's like, no, I can't do it. Cody's my friend. Throws him back into the ring. Cody cutter. He hits the crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Kevin loses. That's how I would do it. Love Tuck's shout with Kevin Owens maybe turning to set up a match at Bad Blood. And like Ian was saying, I want this to be a long-term feud as well, but spoiler alert, the last match we're going to talk about, I think Randy Orton is going to make his way back to SmackDown, and that's probably the direction that Cody Rhodes goes after Kevin Owens, and maybe that's his WrestleMania match next year. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. I think that would be a great matchup. So I'm going with Cody Rhodes to retain here. No Kevin Owens heel turn, but I think it still should be a solid match, right? Like, these are two world-class guys.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good match, but it's just nothing. I don't think anything interesting or crazy will happen.
Crazy? I think Kevin Owens can give us a bit of crazy.
Do you guys see the new Bloodline interfering with this match?
Maybe.
Okay.
No.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
But hey, if you guys want to fill out your predictions and get involved in the OTMPLE predictions contest, go to bit.ly/bashinberlin24 and see if you can dethrone Mr. Cincinnati of the Wrestling Junkies podcast.
Hey, if you tie, champion retains. You got to beat him clean, ladies and gentlemen.
The Doc's in the house and said, hello, folks. Late to the party here. I'd love to see Orton move to Rhodes, but I can't see him going from world title to WWE title feud. Let's say KO turn is hinted in a clean Cody win. Then you get Orton versus Rhodes at Mania with Ted DiBiase Jr. Isn't he in jail? Oh, yeah. And then he goes, hey, he's not in prison. I was going to say, Tony, that dude's locked up. I do like it, though. It makes sense. Great Brown Hope said opponent enters, Cody woes, Cody wins, woes, leaves, same formula.
So the Roman approach. It's a Roman approach.
Hey, fucking play the hits, dude.
Yep.
There's still money out there. You know.
Still a cash cow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting that merch money. Last match, I'm assuming going to main event since it is in Germany. Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, taking on the Viper, Randy Orton. Ian, I've been seeing a lot of people predicting that Randy Orton actually will get the win, get his 15th world title reign. I'm not so sure about that. Where do you sit with this one?
I think this is so smart to have Randy Orton go into Germany against their champion, because I have a feeling Randy's going to get some boos. And if not a lot of boos, it's going to start being hinted at. And like we've been talking about, it kind of plays in with how I want the whole Kevin Owens story to lay out. I kind of want to say, like, my part 2 of that Kevin Owens transition would be Randy Orton coming back into this whole situation, love triangle with Cody and Kevin Owens, and then you don't know what Randy Orton's going to choose. Obviously, we want the match to happen with Cody. Obviously, I'm just going to put it out there. Gunther's going to win. All right, I'll get a prediction out of there.
He's from Austria. He's not even from Germany.
His name is Gunther.
Austria's next door.
Everybody, I was going to say they're neighbors.
They're neighbors. But I think this is going to be good because in the eyes of the viewer, we're going to start seeing people boo Randy Orton. Maybe these heel tendencies will start going. Those voices will start talking to him. Mm-hmm. We're going to start seeing a little different side of him in this match, which will be in-ring storytelling, which will be awesome to see because Randy Orton has perfected that over the years. That's when we get into the whole Kevin Owens situation and let Randy kind of play out a character over the next few months or so. Let him choose a side. This is something to set up. Yeah, like you're motioning. Cook a little bit here. Let Randy do his thing.
I like that, Ian. That's a good shout. Great Brown Hope says Gunther disseminates Orton same way Lesnar whipped Orton and sends him home for a couple weeks. Maybe. Could happen. I wouldn't be surprised. Tony said, I don't think Triple H is as concerned with just handing short title reigns to guys just because of records. Vince was. As much as I love Orton, this needs to be a Gunther clean in the middle of the ring win. Totally agree with you, Tony, because we obviously know what happened at King of the Ring when Gunther won. Randy's shoulders was up. I totally think Gunther's retaining his world title here. It would kind of hurt him if he were to lose his very first title defense, at least in my opinion. And Randy, another one of those guys, doesn't get hurt with losing, and I think he goes over to SmackDown right after this. It's like nothing happened. Give Gunther a good win here. He retains, Tuck.
Yeah, I agree. I think Gunther's going to win here. I don't know, since we've waited quite a while for Gunther to become a world champion because he had such an impressive reign with the Intercontinental Championship. I don't know what that does if he loses. Again, Randy Orton is a credible threat. I do not deny that. But I also think him getting a rematch because his shoulder was up is a good enough reason for Gunther to win, to put the stamp on it in a match that he's already won, if that makes sense. I have a student in class that is hell-bent on Orton winning.
A lot of people are.
Strong, like he'll sell his house. It's not his. He's a child. So, but
it is Randy fucking Orton.
It's kind of funny. Like this year, I might have 5 or 6 kids talking WWE,
Love that.
asking, and it's usually like one maybe or a kid on campus. So the product is hot.
I love that. I've noticed too, as the years have gone on, more and more people, more and more casual fans will text me on the side just to get like a scoop of what's going on with the story and like how cool that's been. Wrestling's out there. As the Great Brown Hope says, we out you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that concludes our bash in Berlin.
I just want to say just really quick, Randy Orton, we're talking about the whole history-making, record-breaking win for a title. I don't think that's going to be. I think that'll be later for the Cody Rhodes title, because I think it's kind of going to be that record versus title matchup. That's going to be part of that stipulation. Because I saw a lot of people hanging on to that on, if it's not going to be Gunther's title to break the record, who's going to do it? Or whose title would it be? And obviously that's got to be Cody's, and that just kind of lays out later on in the future. Because Randy's still got some time left. Like, I don't think he's going anywhere.
He said he
anytime
wants
soon.
to go until he's 50, and I think he's only 43. So
yeah,
we
got
can
some
definitely
time.
get another heel run and then a final babyface run from Randy Orton.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you said,
44.
44. Yeah, we still got time.
April Fool's
Appreciate
Day
him,
every
though,
year
while
is
he's
Randy
in-
Orton's birthday, April 1st. Wow.
Oh.
I have a friend that has a April Fool's birthday. Fun fact.
Yes.
Nobody cares. Kind.
Wow.
I think Gunther wins and then Randy heel turn maybe. I like to see Randy win, but it just won't happen. Yeah, you can never count out a Randy Orton heel turn, that's for sure. Great Brown Hope, nothing will solidify Gunther's reign like him cutting a promo on Raw about how he successfully defended his title against a former multi-champion. Yep, 100%. So guys, oh God, you keep cutting
I know,
before I try to transition.
I'm sorry. I just have one more question. So, for everybody, because the way we've been predicting this card, usually they have something major, like a return or something.
Good point.
We haven't predicted anything yet. Like, we've been pretty clean throughout, and I don't know if that's a good sign. Maybe the Lucha Bros, but there's no tag teams here, so that's why I wore the shirt, by the way. But I don't see anything happening.
I got a counter. LA Knight has an open challenge on SmackDown for the title.
Okay.
Ricky Starks, anyone?
I don't think his contract is in time. I think he's still technically under contract. I like it, but I don't think he's. I still.
It'll
Yeah, I
probably
think
be Giovanni Vinci because they're overseas.
I think it's I think his contract is not up.
Yeah.
But I
He's still
think
in
that
contract.
is
Let a man hope.
he's a waiting duck. He doesn't like anything they're presenting. So they're not making more for him. It's just, it is what it is. But
You know what's
I do
interesting,
think
too?
I think this is my time to exit here, gentlemen.
All
no.
right, Tucky.
I do, but I'm glad. NXT No Mercy. I'm very excited to watch that show, but I have not had the time to dive into the product as well. So my picks would mostly be shots in the darks or
That's what Ian's are going to be.
That's what I'm gonna do.
spinning
That's
opposite
on.
of yours. So instead of one educated human and 2 dummies, the NXT No Mercy will be presented by the Main Event Wrestling Network. Predictions will officially be presented by one intelligent bald human who is a champion and a guy named Ian.
That's me.
All right,
Tucky,
ladies and
it was a
gentlemen.
pleasure.
Yes, I'm glad at least we got to get some of it in, but I will be
Berlin
able
in.
to. I'll be able to get Augie out here before he goes full meltdown. So
Good luck to you, my friend.
here we go. See you guys.
So
See
Tucky.
ya, Tucky. Tony did ask us a question, though. He said, who is the taller bloodline guy that's been rumored? That would be Hikuleo. And
Yes.
Ian, I would say that could happen, but there's no bloodline on this card.
No, there's no like. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like when I'm looking at the card, there's no like room for any interruptions from somebody out of the company or anything like that. So, I mean, unless we say like with the whole bloodline attacking, but even then, it's a one-on-one scenario. And they'd just be targeting Cody. So, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Need it.
No,
no, we're not in desperate need for a new addition to the roster. Like WWE's hot enough. We'll be fine.
Yep.
Great Brown Hope says Lucha Bros debut on SmackDown next week to save Angel Garza from Santos. Great Brown Hope, didn't you want him not to be involved with like the LWO and Legado del Fantasma, and then you're directly booking them right into that feud? I think you said that. I could be mistaken. Maybe it was just LWO. Tony says it could be a pretty by the numbers show just to please Germany and give them a show. Yeah,
that's also true. It's just a test market. I'm sure it's first time there. Yeah, it's a solid card. Yeah.
All right, Ian, I know you haven't been paying much attention to NXT, correct?
I've seen Twitter.
You know what's happening, kind of.
Yes, correct, yeah.
Who's the NXT champion?
That is Oligo.
Come on. There you
Oligo.
Go. I'm proud of you. Who are the tag team champions?
That is Chase U. Yeah, I knew that.
And to clarify, Great Brown Hope said just the LWO. I am sorry for misspeaking. There we go. LWO and LWF is awful. They need either better booking or splitting up. They're talented individuals, but
it just seems forced. I'm with them. It seems forced, like genuinely. I like the idea. It was cool at the time, but then they just kept adding people for the hell of it. So.
Yeah, and last thing, bit.ly/Bash in Berlin 24 is where you can fill out your predictions and see if you can dethrone Mr. Cincinnati. But we're going to pivot on over to NXT No Mercy that is happening during our main event fantasy draft this Sunday. So that will be interesting. But we are going to start off with a hot feud. You obviously know about these two individuals right here. Two former brothers. They were tag team champions as MSK and NXT. Also a part of the faction known as the Rascals, who have been involved with the TNA NXT crossover. This is just a blood feud right here, Ian. Straight up, Wesley versus Zach Wentz. No titles on the line. Who do you got winning this one?
Just want to say before I make my prediction, huge shout out to Zach Wentz. Very good dude, and he battled his ass off just to get back into this card. I mean, just on WWE television in general, because he's been there before. So shout out to Zach Wentz. But
he got fucked over. Let's be real about
correct.
Getting fired.
Yes,
he got fucked over.
Correct, and he proved that everybody's wrong, and now he's back. Okay, let's get into it now. So this one just kind of screams because you have that contention with the whole TNA versus WWE thing. Would they let a TNA guy win on WWE television? In this situation, I don't think so. But the other match, possibly. I'm going to go with the Wesley victory here because it's going to just elevate Wesley. That character change, that heel turn really did help him because he was kind of at that stagnant spell. And the crowd absolutely loved his heel turn. So let's go with the Wesley here. Zach Wentz puts him over.
I like where your head's at. And Great Brown Hope says, Wesley whines a lot for a guy who can't get a title win. Yet again, he was the greatest North American champion of all time. Let's not forget about that, Great Brown Hope. Kind says, I think Wes has to win 100%. He needs it himself to build more momentum. He's lost a few big matches recently. So similar to what you were saying, Ian, and I agree with you both. It has Wesley written all over it. And once again, I don't see TNA talent going on a WWE PLE and winning. I just don't think it's going to happen. Have we seen it on the reverse? Has NXT people won on a TNA pay-per-view? I'm not sure.
I honestly don't know. I mean, TNA has won on WWE NXT, but not a PLE.
Correct. So I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can correct me.
Yeah.
Hey, that's your opinion, sir. I'm going to disagree. He said Dirty Dominic is the greatest North American. He's up there. He's definitely up there. Kind's not happy that you're vaping on stream, by the way.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
You broke his heart. It's okay. We all have
I've done it many times.
Yes, you have. I can hear it now. Which at least you're in my right ear today.
Oh, it's working now?
Yeah, you're
sweet.
Everywhere.
Oh, good. Didn't do anything new, so.
Good job. Another good job for you in this show. This one's going to be interesting. The North American title is on the line. Obafemi looking to defend his title against the Don, Tony D'Angelo. And Ian, I find this matchup to be very interesting because I think personally Obafemi has outgrown that title. he is bigger than the North American title. And I really can't look at the NXT roster right now and confidently say, this person is the one to defeat Oba Femi, unless they were going to do it in a ladder match. Because you know NXT loves ladder matches. They could easily do it, and that's a good way to get the title off of him. I'm not a fan of Tony D'Angelo, but I think the Don's going to somehow, some way, pull off one of the bigger upsets of the year and defeat Oba Femi. Let's not forget, he's got the family, too. The family's going to be ringside, I'm sure. Oba Femi doesn't have backup. He's going to find a way to get this title. I'm going with a new North American champion in Tony D'Angelo.
I might actually differ with you on an NXT prediction. This is insane. I'm going to go with Oba Femi to retain. And like you said, they like to give up those titles in those four-way matches, triple threat matches, something along those lines where the guy doesn't have to be pinned. And I think Oba Femi's at that spot now where you know what he is, you know what he could bring every single week. If he gets pinned, he gets pinned. I don't think it's hurting him at all. And like you said, he's kind of outgrowing the title. But at the same time, you could give him the longest North American title reign. Actually, is he there yet? I don't even know.
No, Wesley still has it.
Wesley, okay. So, I mean, you could even build it up to that point where Oba Femi keeps building and growing with that title, maybe gets more of a face side to him. Wesley maybe challenges him before that streak title reign gets to that point, or history making. Because Oba Femi's still green. I think he's still green, but it's not to the point of, oh gosh, I can't watch this guy anymore, because obviously they still have the title on him. Yeah, he is fantastic, and you could tell the love he has for learning and getting better just through the screen and through his matches. And like you said, Tony D'Angelo, I still don't see it. I really don't.
Like the great Brown Hope said, Tony D'Angelo blows. I'm just not a fan of him. It is what it is.
He had the World Cup, right? That's what it's called, the World Cup or whatever.
Heritage Cup.
Heritage Cup. Who won that, by the way?
Charlie Dempsey, William Regal's son.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, there's stuff for Tony D'Angelo to fall back on. And I kind of just want to see Oba Femi see what he could do with the title for a while.
I just don't know who would be the one. Maybe Wesley is the answer. I don't know. But I do like what Great Brown Hope was saying. Maybe Zach Wentz turns heel too, and he beats up the third rascal, which is Trey Miguel. I don't know if Trey's going to be there, but it makes sense. Kynes says, hear me out. Tony wins. So Kynes in agreement with me. Oba is ready for the NXT title. Agree with you, Kynes. Oba seems too hard to beat, but he's got the family by his side. He's got the big upset, and then Oba moves on to the main title. Makes a lot of sense. Tony says, give it to the Don. He's been more and more featured lately. Giving him a title can make sense. See, another person for Tony D'Angelo. And the Great Brown Hope says, Tony D'Angelo is one of those guys that I would send off to AEW for a backup cup. Tell us how you really feel.
Shots everywhere.
Everybody's catching strays from the Great Brown Hope. Love to see it. A couple more matchups here, 4 to be exact. We have Kynes' favorite wrestler of all time, the North American Women's Champion, Kalani Jordan, looking to defend her title against Wendy Chu. Ian, I don't know if you've seen the new Wendy Chu.
Yeah.
It ain't working for me, dog. I don't know about you.
I don't like it. I saw one of the promo battles between them, and it was weird. Yeah, it doesn't work at all. I mean, unless you're with like the Wyatt Six faction, that whole staring thing, spooky. Like even Dexter Lumis, it worked with him because it was unique at the time. So,
well, and in fact, he had a faction too, the Way.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that. Yep, true. So I mean, Kalani Jordan, it's another kind of Oba Femi situation where it's just let her go with that title, keep it going. I mean, same thing. It's a secondary title to their respective divisions too. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt that title if you let somebody just kind of cook with it. This is kind of the have fun with it, prove what you could do kind of title. So, yeah, keep it on Kalani.
Yeah, I agree. Kalani's another one that's still very green with a lot of work to do. Like, when she comes out, I just feel like that's generic wrestler number 8. You know, she just needs a little edge to her. But we're going to start to find that here with this feud with Wendy Chu. And that's why I like Wendy Chu in this spot. I don't think there's a chance she's winning here. I think Wendy Chu's talented in ring, but you go from being just a girl that likes to sleep to a girl that can't sleep and is now crazy. Okay. Like, I can't take you seriously. I'm sorry. And that's, once again, not taking anything away from Wendy Chu, the wrestler. It's just not a gimmick that's connecting with me. I agree with you, Ian. Keep that title on Kalani. Maybe you can build up a new challenger like a Delta who's coming over from Australia. Stephanie Valkyr is on her way over, and who knows, Julia could be waiting in the wings as well. But we will be talking about that with another matchup here because they've been hinting towards something with Roxanne Perez. But before we move on, let's go to the chat. Great Brown Hope says Kalani wins. Wendy Chu will pose a new challenge for Kalani, and she'll have to pull out some new tricks to beat her, but she will definitely retain. Tony says, choo-choo. I'm not a fan, but she's been around quite a while. That was a good one. Without a title, I believe. Correct, Tony. I wouldn't be shocked if they put her over to try to build a newer character. I wouldn't either, Ian.
I would be. Because I don't think, even through the crowd, it's not being reciprocated that this character is getting over in any progress. So it's just kind of, you have to hit the playbook again and see what you could do with her. Because it doesn't work. It doesn't translate.
Yep. Kalani's reign lasting over a year. Kine, I will bet you $500 Kalani Jordan doesn't have that title by the end of this year. 500. I don't know what that equates to in pounds, right? Do they have pounds over there? Is that how they do it?
Yes. Yes.
You didn't say that confidently. Maybe no surprises at Bash at Berlin because we're getting Stephanie Valkyr at No Mercy. Grant Brown Hope, don't steal my take, but yes, that might be why.
I see.
This show is happening in Denver, by the way. It is not happening in Germany, as you can see on the screen. We got 3 more matches to talk about. This one, I'm going to keep it short and sweet because we got new champions in Chase U looking to defend against Axiom and Frazier. I kind of think Axiom and Frazier have been hinting towards a heel turn, which could be interesting for them. Don't know if it's going to happen, but I do know that the U is going to retain here, Ian. What you got?
This is one of those where I am not an Axiom and Frazier guy. It doesn't click with me. It's just one of those situations. They're doing great in ring. Like, they are fantastic in the
matches.
Ring. It's just I'm not a huge character person for them during NXT. Yeah, I'm not. That's too cliche for me. Even when Ricochet was doing his superhero thing, it's just I don't know. It gives me that ick. I can't describe it.
I did not expect you to say ick on this podcast.
I'm gonna go with Chase U to retain as well because I think they are kind of hinting closer towards that main roster. It's kind of getting to that point where main roster call up just a little bit. They've been there for so long. I mean, all of them throughout. I forgot the names of all of them, but throughout.
Well, when Ridge Holland's edition is just another wrinkle to keep the story going as well.
Yep, exactly.
Can't stop the U, Tony says, and he's right. They're over. He's going with the U to retain. Great Brown Hope says Duke Hudson will finally ditch the gang of scrubs and move on to a solid solo run. That's something I think we all can agree on, that Duke Hudson should be a single star.
He's a dog.
Kind of like Dijak. Similar stature, his ability to move in the ring. I think he's got potential.
He's very good in the ring. It's just I think that promo work is what needs to be worked on, and not going to do that when you're not going to be able to do that when you're a backup guy in a tag team or faction, I guess.
He's third wheeling, and what's the other guy's name? I don't know the other guy's name. The guy that does flips and shit, but he's number 4 on that faction. So yeah, I agree. I would like to see Duke Hudson break off and go on his own, but we're going with the U to retain. We got 2 more matches to talk about. This is the one I was hinting towards earlier. Roxanne Perez looking to defend her title against OTM, not the fake OTM. This is the real OTM, the Out the Mud group, Jada Parker, who in her short time in NXT has really made a big impact already. I still think it's a little too soon here, Ian. Roxanne Perez is on a generational run with that title. I'm going to go with Roxanne to retain, but as we saw on television, they've been hinting towards somebody being behind the camera. It's got to be Stephanie or it's got to be Julia. I don't know which one it's going to be. I'm going to say it's Stephanie Valkyr because she's already worked some shows and done house shows with the WWE, and I'm not sure where Julia is at in the grand scheme of things. But I think the big money matchup is Roxanne versus Stephanie. That's where Roxanne can drop her title, and then Roxanne can go up to the main roster. Because I don't know about you, Ian. I think Roxanne's ready for that next step.
I mean, even if she's not in the eyes of whoever is in charge of bringing them up, I guess Triple H, she's still so young. She is a prodigy child. That's a character too. So she's right there, if not already there, being ready for that main roster pull up. And she could hold that title for a long time and still have plenty of time on the main roster once she's done with that title, once she's done her work. And like you said, with Vacure, who is the Julia that you're bringing up?
Julia, she competed over in Stardom.
I'm not. I would
You're
have
not
to.
familiar with Julia?
I would have to see her face.
Dude, she's big time. Like to me personally, I think she's more big time than Stephanie.
Yeah, fair. Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of her.
That's Julia. You've definitely seen Julia before.
Is she a GCW?
No, she's never. You're thinking of God, I forgot who you're thinking of, but I know who you are. You've never seen Julia before.
I don't think I have. Not gonna lie.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I mean that's just that. I don't know, but so I think Roxanne should hold this title a little bit longer because obviously she's doing amazing things with it. Has a lot of room to grow still. Not that she needs to grow more, but she still could just kind of polish her skills, polish her in-ring work. Let her have some time with the title still. I keep saying that, but I don't see a lot of like challengers that really deserve the title win.
Or pose a threat to Roxanne. They're just not on Roxanne's
Yeah.
level. And thing that we really haven't been talking about though is where's Cora Jade been? She's got to be close.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Cora gets involved here too, and maybe she's the one behind the camera. Maybe we're all getting swerved, thinking it's somebody new, but it's just Cora. Cora's just lurking in the background, waiting to get her revenge on Roxanne. So a lot of variables in play here, but it is an easy decision. Keep the belt on Roxanne Perez. This comment popped me. Ian's got a crazy head of hair for 47 years old, out of nowhere.
What?
Out of nowhere. Great Brown Hope says, I need out the mud to get called up early and link up with Admiral Angelo Dawkins. Ooh, that sounds like something that would be on Story Time with the Great Brown Hope. Could be something there. Tony says, maybe it could be Mandy. I love Mandy Rose, so that would bot me too.
I think she's done with wrestling. She's making a lot of money outside of taking bumps.
Never mind.
Don't no.
Nope. I'm stopping right there. We're moving on to the main event. I can't keep it together. Somebody give me a comment. Thank you. Kind says Cora will return in November, December, according to reports. I haven't actually seen. I'm just guessing. Okay, so they're not according to reports. He's just assuming. That does seem like the right timeline. All right, let's get to the main event here of No Mercy. Ethan Page, the NXT champion, taking on TNA's Joe Hendry with special guest referee Trick Williams. This one's going to be a lot of fun, Ian. Obviously, we know about Joe Hendry. We believe in Joe Hendry, but do you believe that Joe Hendry can win the NXT title?
I believe he can, and I believe he will. Listen, this WWE TNA partnership, if there's one man to be able to branch that bridge and really make the best out of it, I mean, Joe Hendry's already pulling double duty right now. What's more to add a title to the equation? Show that WWE NXT title on TNA. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get heat for that. I don't know the fan base, how they feel about this branch and this bridge. Like, genuinely, I have no idea. If you're a TNA fan, please let me know if you like seeing WWE NXT in TNA. But
well, the TNA fans are probably watching TNA right now, not this.
Yeah, also, yeah, that's true.
Just saw
but
a tweet.
I mean, it's just like if you're gonna make this bridge, you might as well take advantage of it. And right now, we haven't predicted anything to go crazy. I mean, besides the Stephanie Vacure, let's have Joe Hendry win the title. He's over as hell in NXT. Like, this is one of the most over talents in NXT history. Like, just being bluntly honest. So, I mean, might as well take advantage of this. It's not going to hurt Ethan Page at all. I mean, you could throw Ethan Page on the main roster right now, and he would be okay.
100%.
He's a veteran, and put Joe Hendry. And I don't think he's going to care about losing his title to help TNA. He is a TNA guy.
TNA guy, yeah.
So he's probably make his life like wrestling career. It might be one of the greatest moments, especially if this Joe Hendry title run works out. So let's get crazy. Let's have fun with it.
Well, it's also a good idea to put that on Joe Hendry's resume and plant those seeds in his head when he does become a free agent to sign with WWE. It's an incentive, kind of like, hey, we're going to give you this NXT title. I know you're not under contract, but
that's the only issue.
Yeah,
that's the only issue I do see with it, because what does TNA think about that? It's like that's our money machine right now. Don't really want you throwing out hints that you want to keep them. So that's kind of where, but we don't know. We really don't.
Kind says Trick Willie heel turn would be great, but there's a lot of other heel turns, so I don't see why it would help Joe Hendry get that NXT title. Even more clicks for NXT Online helps TNA, maybe. That's an interesting question, though, I have for you, Ian. If you think Joe Hendry's going to win, do you think Trick Williams is a big reason why? Do you think he's intentionally costing Ethan Page?
No. The way I see this match working out, Trick Williams plays the straight referee, does everything fun, has some fun moments during the match with Joe Hendry, maybe like some, I don't know, like playing out his entrance or something. I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff out there. But he's going to have fun with it. I don't think he turns heel here. Yeah, does like a little bit of clapping thing. But once he wins that title, he goes, oh shoot, why did I just count to 3 there? I just gave away the NXT title.
To another company.
Yeah, that could lead down to the heel turn, bringing out some more storylines. I mean, like I said, like this is new territory.
Making sense.
Sorry. Yeah, I watch a lot of NXT. But it just makes a lot of fun out of the situation because we've never been here before.
It is uncharted territory for sure. But with all that being said, I'm a believer. But I also believe in all ego, baby. That, like you said, that dude's a vet. He is a bad man. And he could, like you said, get called up tomorrow and fit in like a glove. But I want to see the reign last a little longer. And I think, actually, I'm going to throw a little curveball your way. I think Trick Williams gets knocked out as a referee by Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is not finished with Trick Williams. I think they got beef. Maybe Pete Dunne just comes in, throws on the referee shirt, steals that spot from Trick Williams, and helps Ethan Page get the win because I still think there's unfinished business between Pete Dunne and Trick Williams. So that's why I'm going with Ethan Page to retain.
I don't hate that. And like you said, I mean, Pete Dunne doesn't have anything else to do this weekend, so it would make sense to be around NXT.
Yeah, he could have faced Sheamus, but then again, Sheamus hasn't even been on TV, I don't think, in the last couple of weeks, has he?
He was on last week. He had a good match. He had the banger match started off.
He always has good matches.
Oh, Sheamus is so good.
Legend.
Yeah.
Tony says company warfare if the title changes hands. Lots of fun fantasy booking potential. You're not wrong, man. Trust me. I wouldn't be mad if Joe Hendry won. Like,
no, nobody
would. Very cool. And I would get to see Joe Hendry as NXT champion for their debut on the CW in Chicago.
I mean, it's just the fact that, like, Joe Hendry is over as hell with both TNA and NXT that I don't think either fan base would hate seeing Joe Hendry with the title around his shoulder. It could be either title. Like, if Joe Hendry came into NXT tomorrow with the TNA title, it'd be like, oh, hell yeah. Love that for you, man. Good job.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt anybody. But, again, I just don't know with TNA on what they think about the whole situation.
Yeah, we will never know because we're just marks that talk about wrestling. But Kind says, I like that Ian idea. Trick makes the 3 count, and as he gives the title to Joe, you see his face kind of change, and then eventually brings the title back to him in NXT. Pete takes, and now he's fantasy booking some more. He said Pete takes out Trick. Joe tries to help Trick, and Paige hits the finisher as a new ref runs out. 1, 2, 3. Ethan retains. After talking about all this wrestling, though, Ian, it got me very excited for the weekend, and you're not going to be watching any of it.
I will be watching it, just not live.
Actually, there's no chance you watch NXT No Mercy.
Probably not. Maybe that might be the weekday one. I honestly might watch. I'm pretty sure I might be free Saturday. I might watch Bash.
It's at 1 o'clock Eastern if you're in Indy.
I think we're going to Top Golf Saturday, so I might be at Top Golf while it happens. Yeah, I might do that.
Throw it on your phone. But here we are. We're about a little over an hour in. Great interaction once again tonight, guys. What happened?
I'll be at Purdue. I'll be watching Indiana State versus Purdue. Hey, they are covering the spread.
34. That spread's 34.
When's Purdue going to score?
Probably all the time because it's fucking Indiana State.
Nah. We'll talk about it.
I guess we will. We are at the point of the show where we have to give out the MVM of OTM. The current MVM, the Great Brown Hope, was very active in the chat. And if we're keeping it real, this was a very close call. But it came down to 2 of the greatest MVMs of all time. It was just this person's night. And new MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast. He has returned. It is Kind.
Good job, Kine. Very proud of you. Known AEW lover and fan base and tribalist to AEW. Good job, Kine.
Yeah, the biggest AEW fan.
Loves it. Always loved it. Always.
You know what I love?
Wrestling?
I do love wrestling, man. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan, as Jim Tucker would say. You got a double dosage of OTM this week. If you haven't yet already, go back to Tuesday's episode. We recap everything that happened at AEW All In, and what a great pay-per-view that was. And then here we are on episode 211 talking about Bash in Berlin happening on Saturday and the NXT No Mercy PLE on Sunday. If you want to get involved in those Bash in Berlin predictions, go to bit.ly/BashInBerlin24. Or if you want to make it easier on yourself, just make sure you're following us on socials at Pod on the Mark. We will send out the links there as well. Ian, tell them what promo code to use this weekend at the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com.
We kept it very simple this week. Hey, listen, I read the ticker down below. I know you're trying to get me. It is just simply BASH. Bash.
Bash? Great stream, guys. Yeah, congrats for your MVM. NXT prediction website. I can talk to Tuck.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get one. I still think the NXT champion, because we did defend it recently. The NXT title's not with me, but it is signed by Johnny Gargano.
Rest in peace.
Ian, what's going on with the Main Event Wrestling Network nowadays?
Main Event Wrestling Network, I tell them about it every single week because I do the videos for them. Tim Vicious is still posting out daily content. Great Brown Hope is always posting new vlogs. We have podcasts all over the place. Wrestling Junkies still on their grind.
Always.
If you guys haven't checked out the Wrestling Junkies, which I know all of you or most of you have so far, but if you have not, please do. The Wrestling Junkies are posting out content all the time, especially if you love the indies. That's the place to be.
Yeah, and if we view the Main Event Wrestling Network as like a faction, those are like our 1 and 2 right there.
Yeah.
The Mr. Cincinnati and the podcast dad. And like they always say, if you know just one person that may like this show, share it with them. Tell them to subscribe to us on YouTube. We, I believe, are 60-something subscribers away from 400, which would be a nice number, Ian.
And we still have some milestones, too. The only one I remember is if we hit 750 subs, doesn't matter the timeline, I will do a 24-hour live stream.
Yeah, and the 400 subscribers, I think Tuck's giving away a Rey Mysterio signed figure.
Yes, correct, yes.
That's
a
Rey
big
Mysterio,
giveaway.
Guys. It's a big giveaway.
If you want to be a part of the giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed, and we have to have 400 subs. So even if it's your parents that won't even tune into the show, have them subscribe. And
go on their smart TVs, go on their laptops, find the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, tell them we sent you, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, do all that good stuff. I'm done shilling, Ian. You got any final remarks?
No, I do not. I am very much looking forward to 23. No, I'm not. But I am looking forward to celebrating and hopefully tuning in Saturday to some WWE action. And then, by the way, we're not done with prediction shows. Next week, we got a prediction show for All Out. We'll be going in person. We got a lot of wrestling. And we have a special guest next week, too, Gags, don't we?
Jesus, yeah. There's so much happening here at OTM. I forget, what you said. We have Steve from SCW Wrestling Channel, if you have not seen his content. One of the best in YouTube. I'm not even lying. I genuinely believe he is one of the best content creators out there. He still deserves more subs, so make sure you're subscribing to him. We're probably going to have to do that show early, by the way. Just giving you a heads up. How quick can you get home from work?
I mean, I could get home in 15 minutes, but how awake do you want me to be?
You're going to have to suck it up because he's staying awake for us to do the show.
That's true. Okay.
Just doing a favor.
Okay.
Like our co-host would say, it is a great time to be a wrestling fan. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.